Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. That is Jack. I'm Conrad, and this is the 45. Back with some not so stupid transfer concepts. Looking at perfect windows. Next up, Everton. Everton had a rough restart. They finished in 12th. Not accustomed to bottom half finishes. We had them at one point as high as potentially finishing 6th a couple of seasons ago. 13, 10, and 15 losses. 49 points, 12th in the league. 44 goals for, 56 against. So both in the bottom half. Ancelotti will be looking to do a little bit of house cleaning and maybe bring some of his players in. Sidibe is going back to Monaco. His loan is done. Leighton Baines retiring gives them some challenges in the fullback positions. But like most teams in the bottom half, they're probably best suited to be building from the back at this stage. Mm-hmm. They have decent attacking talent. And a rumor that hit just before we started to record is potentially James Rodriguez reuniting with Carlo Ancelotti. From their time together at Madrid and Bayern, but who knows what that number is going to look like? Could be a loan fee to a free transfer, but who knows? We'll touch on that again in a little bit. But we've got another midfielder to start with, who also has previous experience working with Ancelotti, Alan.
Yeah, and I think that the big focal point for Everton in this transfer window is going to be revamp that midfield. I think they need some steel, and then getting a player of James Rodriguez's caliber. Although we don't have him as a specific target in these three players, I think they'd be great additions to their midfield. Alan, it's been rumored for several weeks now that Ancelotti wants to bring him back. I think it makes sense for all parties involved. Alan, I think, could use a new challenge. He's been phased out. He used to be part of a great midfield of Hamšík himself and Jorginho. Now he's beginning to play and start less matches. He still is incredibly talented, 29 years old, and that £30 million price tag is not going to, I think, scare Everton off. He still has several years left in him. I think of the Fernandinho transfer from Manchester City from Shakhtar about 6 years ago now, I believe, when he was about 28. They've gotten several years of great work from him, and so they won't be dissuaded by that age. So I think that'd be a great sign for them to try and add just a strong presence in the midfield and one that Ancelotti can already trust.
Well, and a veteran too, right? I mean, it's somebody that I think that trust thing is enormous for Ancelotti, right? Because he doesn't know a lot of these players. They're all trying to prove themselves, and not necessarily playing within the concept that he's probably trying to implement. So getting those two types of players that understand him could be beneficial. Next up, Santiago Arias out of Eindhoven, 28 years old, looking at maybe $9 million. Interesting stories about him and how he was acquired at Eindhoven, and now the director of football at Everton, looking at him again.
Yeah, and a similar situation. You trust the guy, you believed in him before, maybe you want to bring him back again. Marcel Brands purchased him for Eindhoven, and now he's going to try and do potentially the same for Everton. Obviously losing Sidibe at right back, he was dependable. He wasn't, I don't think, great at that position, but Arias would be very similar, just kind of an all-around good player. Our little shoulders of Arias shows him with his Atletico jersey, where he used to play as well. So he has experience in Europe's elite, and so that kind of experience, yet again, would help a side that I think could use some leadership and some great experience try and help them moving forward. Because Ancelotti, yeah, he's going to try and rebuild this side, but I don't imagine him as the kind of guy where he's looking long term. I think he's looking at guys who can come in, can instantly help us now, and we can get like 4, 5, 6 years of production out of him. Maybe that's asking a bit too much of Arias, but I think he'd be a very good and very efficient and shrewd signing in a window where a lot of teams have to be pretty smart with their finances.
A little more shrewd than normal. I think we're sensing a theme here. The last up, we have Jan Vertonghen out of Spurs on a free. Again, 33 years old, knows the league, can come in right away and give you absolute solidity in that center back position.
Yeah, and exactly. He's got experience with Spurs in the Champions League in Europe. I think that's something that Everton want to target. They've spent a lot of money in recent windows on trying to improve this side. So I think that they should get it back to that position. And Jan Vertonghen's the kind of guy where, yes, at 33, you're not going to get that 4 to 5 year window, most likely, with him. But he will give you a good, solid player to kind of fix a defense that has had some problems. Again, you mentioned it, bottom 10 or bottom half of the table in goals scored as well as goals conceded. So you're going to need to make some improvements in both of those areas. So I think that by adding Vertonghen, you get experience and you get the ability to try and push this side forward into a new era under Ancelotti. And I think Vertonghen is the kind of guy where he could really be a leader on the pitch and a coach on the pitch, should they be able to sign him. And again, a free transfer just makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, I think that kind of leadership everywhere on the pitch will hopefully shore up the pure dreadfulness that we saw out of Everton in the restart. They were inconsistent and just leaky at the back, to say the least. So they could use a little bit of, and I think leadership in all these positions is great. You have leaders all over the field and guys that can just step in and that you trust immediately. Well, that'll do it for us for the Perfect Windows edition for Everton Football Club. For Jack, Conrad, this has been the 45. Please like, subscribe, give us some comments, tell us what you think, and find us on the Twitter at the 45. Take care now.